What is up, friends? Welcome into Attacking Third. We got Sandra Herrera and Beattie in the house, and I am your host, Darian Jenkins. We have a jam-packed show for you today. We are talking Women's Champions League, the second leg of the knockout rounds, U.S. Women's National Team roster drop coming in soon, as well as taking a look at the Winter Olympics and thinking of which of our favorite soccer players would thrive as an Olympic sport. Thank you guys for joining us, whether you're listening here on YouTube, listening as a podcast, or watching us on Golazo.net. We appreciate it. Jump in the comments. Let us know what's going on. Okay, ladies, we're coming off of Valentine's Day. Happy post-Valentine's. How was it, Jen? What did you do? What did you get up to?
It was lovely. We actually went away for the weekend. And I got a lovely bunch of flowers. So that was great.
What kind?
Roses.
Aw.
Yeah, red and pink ones. I do have a confession, though. I forgot to take my card on the weekend away. So the card...
You forgot?
No, I promise. It was, well, at least purchased. It might have not been written yet, but it was purchased and left at home. So she did get her card a little bit late, but... Thankfully, she's a low maintenance babe. She's all good.
We love a low maintenance babe.
We love it.
Sandra, how was yours? I saw you were posted up at IKEA.
Listen, here's a little bit of advice to all you youngins out there who are thinking, is marriage for me? You'll know marriage will be for you if the person you're with, you just like to do stuff with them. Because shout out to my wife, because she was like, I was like, what do you want to do for Valentine's, honey? Like first Valentine's, wife and wife. She just wanted to go to IKEA. She just wanted to have a little elevated experience at IKEA. So I was like, you know what? Let's go.
Aww.
Let's have fun. Let's get some meatballs. Let's sit on some couches. Great time.
Did you buy anything, or did you just do 20,000 steps in an IKEA?
I mean, we did hit our steps goal at IKEA, which was worth it because we definitely upgraded the meatballs. And then we did walk away with some good stuff. You can't go in there and not come out with a little something. So we got a little something.
I love it. Your first Valentine's as a married couple.
Yeah. We did all right, I think.
Oh.
Did you get a plant? Because it's always the plants that get me.
Yeah, it was the plant.
or
confirm.
A picture frame.
Yeah, God, it's like, what did I refer to it as? Lesbian activities at IKEA. It's just like, you just know what you're going in there. What you're going in there for, but you also sort of know what you're coming out there with, and you're just like, all right. Yeah, we need another one of these plants, and we need another one of these rainbow bags. Sure.
Yeah. And just throw in a bath mat and a towel set.
Yeah. We got a gray one, gray bath mat.
There you go.
It was like you were there in my brain.
I get it.
And how did you know all of this?
We were in IKEA too. Yeah. We went a weekend away and skipped through IKEA.
Yeah, damn, it was up in IKEA this weekend.
What'd you get up to?
Yeah. The BF planned a very lovely dinner, drinks, live music. I love to go to events, experiences, and he planned very well. Got some flowers, got my favorite lilies. It was very sweet.
I love that.
He did your favorite flower?
He did. He got my lily. Love a lily. Yeah.
He has that's a chef's kiss, Valentine.
Yeah.
I will say.
Big points.
Yeah.
Big points.
What was the show?
Just some live music. Just some friends that can sing. Uber talented. Got to go support them. Jen, you got to pull up one of these days. We're gonna bring you to it.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Well, what else we have cooking besides Valentine's Day? Shout out to everybody in the comments. Hope you guys had a great Valentine's. Let's get into Women's Champions League because last week had all the drama. We had massive games, high scoring. Let's start with Real Madrid and Paris FC. 3-2 to Real Madrid on aggregate with a late goal from Linda Caicedo. And then we had Arsenal and OH Leuven. Arsenal dominating. Frida Manam had a brace ending 4-0. And then Juventus and Wolfsburg, all the drama in that one, ended 2-2 with a late goal coming in to equalize for Wolfsburg. And then Man United and Atletico Madrid, and Man United sweeping once again 3-0 on aggregate going into week 2. Can these teams make a comeback? Possibly. Let's take a look into it. Let's start with Juventus and Wolfsburg. That game, I think we all kind of left off thinking, I don't know who can do a 90-minute performance. I actually am not sure. And both of these teams drew on the weekend in their domestic league. So coming into this, I don't know who can feel more confident. Is it Juventus? You know, you're Bonasea saying we are Juventus. No, we know how to win, but you also no longer are going to have a Girelli moving forward.
Mm.
So I don't know. Sandra, what for you? Which team comes in to this week thinking they need to get this done more?
It's tough for me because I think there's going to be two teams who are both feeling quite confident, but on different scales. Like it's going to be so intriguing to watch a Juventus maybe carry some confidence with like a bit of vengeance at home. Like you're the home side who like, yet you're the home side who's seeking revenge. And then you've got a Wolfsburg side that, yes, they came from behind, but they have to go into this away, like motivated by the fact that they got bullied for like 80 minutes in their first leg. And so, yes, you have a come from behind draw and you want to be excited about that. You want to be high on that, but you have a chunk of game where you were not your best. So I'm I think they're both confident. It's just a different, I think the locker rooms are just different in terms of what type of confidence.
Jen, you agree?
Yeah, I do. I think this game is really hard to call. I think that's one of the main reasons I'm really looking forward to it. But I'll always go back to I think Wolfsburg still dominated that game with the ball. I think you're always going to be confident knowing you can go into the game and you're going to dominate the ball. I think the games will play out similar. For me, Wolfsburg just need to tighten up on their defensive actions, and if they don't give away cheap goals like that, I think Juve are in for a more difficult job trying to break them down. But then Juve can go up a gear. That's what I think as well. I think Juve defended really well on the whole. It was that last 10 minutes that's where they let it slide. And I think they spoke a lot about managing moments of those games and lacking a little bit of experience. I think they'll hopefully have worked on that, knowing that they'll be at home in front of their home crowd if they manage those moments better. But I do think Juve still have to think the goals they got were, a set piece, a massive deflection. Are they going to get as more? I want to call them cheap goals, right? I think you have to do better to break down Wolfsburg. So I think they have to go up a level on their transitions, which is what they've been so good at previously coming into this knockout stages. So both teams have gears to go up. That's why I'm excited for it. I think they both have areas they can improve in. That's what happens with a 2-2 draw. So I still think this game could go either way. That's honestly what I'm thinking.
My biggest question mark for Juve, though, is the attack. Like you even said, it was cheap goals.
Yeah.
And other than that, there really wasn't much for Juve. Wolfsburg dominated possession, like you said. I think more of the pressure is on Wolfsburg, to be honest.
Yes.
I think Juve played one of the best games that they could have, actually. Maybe not for 90 minutes defensively, but I don't think they're going to get joy out of the ball. Like, I don't expect much different in that capacity. And for Wolfsburg, it's how do we just make it ugly and not play into Juventus's tactics? I don't. And also with Juve, I sound like a Juve hater. I swear I'm not. But I don't think they can hold a lead. They haven't proven that they can.
That's been missing this tournament for sure from them. It's almost like there's too many examples in how they can give away a game versus coming out on top of a game.
But that's the experience part for me. And like I think everyone has seen the rumors around Girelli potentially leaving and who knows what's happening on that end. But when you have, even if she plays or not, right? She didn't play against Wolfsburg, but even if you have that kind of player in the dressing room, you never know the kind of characters or conversations they're having behind the scenes of how to sort of give that experience to the younger ones, even just from a mentality aspect. So it's hard when you're looking at 10 minutes of a game and you concede 2 and let a team back into the tie. It's a really tough place to be. And I agree with you. I do think they need to do more on an attacking standpoint. They've been so effective with driving forward, and we've done those breakdowns on the show and how that can lead to better opportunities up top, because they need to do more to score goals. It's still a tie, so I'm stating the obvious here, but this is why I'm excited for it.
But with Girelli, I feel like it's a double-edged sword of it's rumored that she wants to leave and spread her wings and possibly come over to the NWSL. Hey, we love the Italians over here. They're thriving. Welcome. But that to me feels like that could be more of a miss in the locker room than a push. If you have a player like her, all-time appearances, leading goal scorer for Juventus, that's wanting to depart the club.
She did player of the weekend, so like maybe it's like, hey, maybe there will be some ramped up, play or leadership on her end. I do wonder, if that could be something that lingers over a locker room heading into a big game. Italian streets are saying she's gone. Like, Italian streets are saying she's gone.
Yeah.
Italian streets are dropping like club names. Like Italian streets are saying maybe like Girelli de Bay. Like, yeah, there you go. Are you in those Italian streets? At Ted Manu. Ted Manu
and me. I was up online last night and today looking, and it keeps being rumored, especially from Italian press.
Yeah. So if it's you just have to, if it's coming out on the motherland side of things, you do have to wonder, like, okay. Also the fact that it could just sort of be like a loan move. So maybe there's, maybe the situation will be one where she comes, after a Champions League campaign is finished. But if you are the interested club and you're looking at Juve right now, you're like, well, there's a good chance that could be over this week.
Yeah.
And maybe really can be a longer term sort of project or plan. But as far as her current team right now, I think that is a fair question. Is it going to be motivation or is it going to be distraction? Like, I think that's not unfair to look at either.
When I look at Wolfsburg as well, that's a team that has such leaders on it, but I hardly said Pop's name when I called the match against Juve in the first leg. So when I'm thinking of, I'm looking at a comment from Ryan Robertson here. He says Wolfsburg lacks a killer instinct that they have had in the past. I agree. Where was Bjornstein? Where was Pop? Where was all these attackers that we're so used to seeing that are really lucrative in the attack and creating something? So to me, that needs to be the biggest change for Wolfsburg is, what are you doing to break down Juve? Wasn't working last time.
That for me though, and I don't know if you guys agree, but when I'm seeing, we're all talking this killer instinct, right? But when I see Pop, she's playing a little bit deeper. If I'm Pop, I'm at my best when I'm in the box and Bierenstein's running the channels and putting balls in the box. I think the way we've seen Pop play a little bit recently has been a little bit more deeper, trying to get the physical aspect of the game, which, don't get me wrong, is so effective as well. But if you're talking about the comment that's just popped up, a killer instinct in the box, a goal scorer, where's your main threat? Get her in the box, stay in the box. I understand what she's trying to do, but that for me is when Wolfsburg can be at the best if they're talking about chances created, crosses coming in, and who do you need right there is Pop.
Who do you slot with that kind of like physical responsibility if you want Pop a little higher?
In the center of the pitch.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, that's where you see. That's where you have Sven Juhut or Minga. I feel like she's your young German international that I think has a huge future ahead of her. I think that responsibility can be taken. That would be the name that comes to mind.
Yep. No, I'm with you. Yeah. I just like hearing you say it.
You're like, say Minga.
Yeah.
You know what? I loved that I started to see. I love when I see teams like really play into the dark arts, and the Italians, Juventus, really know how to just piss off Wolfsburg, and you could see in the body language. And I think that's actually going to come into play. Pop's on a yellow. There's a couple players on a yellow card. I think that could be a little messy coming into this game. But let's do predictions of this match. They're tied 2-2 right now. Jen, who do you think's coming out on top in the second leg?
I think if either team gets a goal, I think the game could come a little bit chaotic with transitions. So, oh my goodness, honestly, I haven't even put a figure on this because I find it so hard to predict. But I'm gonna go. I think Juve might cause an upset, but I still think Wolfsburg have the. If you anger a person like Pop, you're coming back from it. So
from personal experience.
Yeah. I'm going 2-1 to Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg to progress.
I like that. Sandra, what about you?
My bracket says it.
Yeah, I had Wolfsburg in the first leg. I'm not parting ways with them in the second leg. I hope they're also equally as fired up as Juve. Like you cannot yes, you love to have an even slate going into your second leg, but you cannot love how you got there. And I'm hopeful that they will make their adjustments and figure things out. I'm in agreement. I think Pop's got a little bit higher, and because of that, let Fred Moore take more of that work. Yeah, they were kind of they were very mutual in that game. It was almost like overlapping. Like if you look at their map, they were just like the two dots, just like right next to each other. It's like, well, let her go then. Let her go. Let Pop go then. So I'm gonna hope that they took a look at that film and are gonna make that adjustment. I'm gonna stick with Wolfsburg. I'm gonna say real narrow, nervy though. I'm gonna say 1-0.
Oh, low scoring. Oh, guys, I don't remember my bracket. But based on last week, I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to rock with Juve. I think if they can put together a 90-minute defensive performance, I also agree. I'm going to say 1-0. They're going to be able to do it. They can come out on top.
Do you know what I'm actually really excited to see as well?
Huh?
Bjornstein's reaction from the first game. Having played against their old team and kept quiet in the grand scheme of Bjornstein performances. So I'm excited to see her reaction. But I like it, Darian. You've gone. You had Juve.
I'm rocking with your dark horse. Come on.
You've seen the chat.
Oh,
you had Juve.
Oh, there
thanks,
you go.
Audrey.
Yeah.
Producers, important.
Second time of the week I've forgotten my bracket. There's too much going on up here. Well, let's look at the other game that had all the drama: Real Madrid and Paris FC. Real Madrid coming back, clawing back into the game, ultimately winning it with a late goal from Linda Caicedo. They come in as favorites. You know, they're playing at home now, but Paris FC is a team that's, you know, you cannot write off because although it's not the most beautiful football, they're going to make it messy. They maybe give up opportunities. They claw their way back into a game. And they have the upper hand on Real Madrid. When you look at their previous fixtures, they've never lost. Last week was the first time they've lost to Real Madrid. Do you think Paris FC can come back with an upset, Sandra, away from home?
I do. I just hope it doesn't happen. But I think if there's any team that's capable of the two games that we've already just talked about right now, I think it's Paris. There's something about a team, to your point, Darian, that just is unafraid to make things ugly. Like winning ugly is like not a complimentary thing in soccer for some reason, but like the American brain in me loves it.
Me too. A win's a win.
Let's go. It's Champions League, right? Like this is the second leg. It's about as even as you can get, you know, going into this one. It's, you know, it's 3-2 aggregate in favor of Madrid, but you know, there's a lot here on the line for both of these teams. And I think to maybe some similar points that we were making with Juve for Paris, like how do you maybe get an advantage in a game and maintain that and control that tempo, keep those leads. And I think that's going to be difficult for them away to Madrid, and like really difficult away to Madrid on a team that has someone like Linda Caicedo who looks like she wants to like embrace those moments and like be that player for Madrid. The take over the game player.
Mm-hmm. Jen, you feel the same?
Yeah, I really want to see a Real Madrid Barcelona next phase as well. That side of the bracket is just a huge game that could be. But this has been, again, another really tight one. And even in league phase game, I think it ended 1-1 between the two. So these two historically are really close games. I want to always lean on Real Madrid, I think, just because of the talent up top for me. You guys have spoken about it already. Caroline Weir and Linda Caicedo. I think the combination. Mate. Yeah, my mate. The two of them are just have that quality to beat or break down any team in the competition, if I'm honest. For me, it's, again, I feel like I keep talking about the defensive side of stuff in these knockout rounds, but they just become so important going towards second legs. And when I'm watching the goals that Real Madrid concede, it just feels sloppy, or you got players looking at each other thinking, how did that happen? Because they're not used to it. So for me, if they've worked on that and knowing that they've got more quality, in my opinion, up top than Paris FC, they can go and win this game. So I think I'm favoring Real Madrid.
I am too. I'm favoring Real Madrid. I think when they look back at this game from last week, the mistakes they made are so easily fixable. And like Janet, you're a defender, like very basic principles of defending, not losing your mark on a corner.
Yeah.
Making sure you're not calling an offside and giving up on a play when a player's clearly onside. Like very basic things are their issue, where I actually feel very confident for Real Madrid going against Paris FC at home, but being able to fix those things. But I do not feel confident of them going against Barcelona. Sorry, Real Madrid. Yeah. I don't think it's enough if you're making mistakes like that this late into Champions League against Paris FC, who are less clinical than a Barcelona.
Yeah.
I mean, we all want to see it. We all want the Clasico matchup, but at the same time, it's like we have a feeling we know how that one might end.
Yeah. Well,
for argument's
sake,
for argument's sake, they would play totally differently against Barcelona, right?
Yeah.
They would park the bus, as everyone does. They wouldn't have the ball as much, but I get what you guys. Of course, Barcelona have the best quality in the entire competition, right?
They're proving they can be beaten, though.
Yep.
They can be. Every once in a while, it happens.
yeah. Every 5 years.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, let's give a score prediction. We all think Real Madrid's going through.
Yeah.
It's 3-2 right now. I'm going to say Madrid's going to it's going to be 2-1 at the end of this match for Madrid.
I'm going Madrid 3-1 in this game. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they got another 3 in them. Like, let's go 3-1.
Full send.
Madrid.
Full send.
All right, we're all backing you, Madrid. Don't let us down.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. 2 other teams. Let's just quickly hit on these. The English sides are thriving in this Champions League, in this knockout phase. United versus Atletico. They're up 3-0 on aggregate right now. Jen, you've played against United. What has these last 7 matches of watching them and, watching them even in the WSL said about how good this team is this season?
Yeah, incredible. I think even when they just came down from a deficit 1-0 against London City at the weekend, and I just feel like they need to be in that bracket of Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, that same caliber. They're sitting second, and the way that they've stepped up for Champions League has really been so great. And I keep bringing in the drum of defensive record, but for me, they have one of the best ones. Yes, they've fallen short against tougher opposition, Lyon being the prime example. But I just think Maya Letizia has been at the heart of it. I've spoken about her quite a lot this whole Champions League because she's a young captain and her leadership qualities have just been brilliant. I think Jess Park, that switch between Grace Clinton to Man City and Jess Park coming into Manchester United is just taking them to another level as well from a creative standpoint. Ella Toon's quite a big injury at the minute. I think in terms of getting her back for the latter rounds, if obviously they progress, will be hugely important. But look, bottom line, I've been so impressed. I think we joked about, them bringing in Lundqvist and Leah Schuler and, they didn't even play, but still got an incredible result against Atletico Madrid. I just think they show a maturity that other teams don't necessarily show, and in the details of the game. I think Mark Skinner is doing a really brilliant job, and credit to them for their first year in Champions League. They've been really, really great to watch.
Yeah, they've been a joy. Well, I think that they've got Atletico on lock. I expect them to move on to the next round. Sandra, I don't think you disagree. Jen, I don't think you disagree.
No, I mean Atletico's at such a disadvantage, and I don't know if in the moment you look at that first leg is a demoralizing loss, but when you're on the wearing the analyst hat and you're taking a look at some of those things, I'm like, ooh, that's tough.
Yeah,
to walk out of there 3-0 because at certain points of that game, Atletico came to life. Atleti honestly, they've raised their expected goals against this team. They ended up coming out with more shots. They ended up getting leveling out the attempts on target. Didn't matter because to Jen's points, the defense is incredible. The center back duo between Jensen and Letizia, it's outrageous.
Yeah.
And so in the moment, no, I didn't think it was demoralizing, even though it was like a 3-0 game. But you look more at the numbers and you're like, oof, they were down bad in a number of ways. So it's going to be tough for them. I think United's got this one all the way.
Yeah.
I do want to see, again, for argument's sake, I do want to see Atletico Madrid absolutely go for it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be full send.
Yeah.
You got nothing to lose.
I just think you cannot. I mean, love to hear what you guys think, but I don't think you can second leg sit in a mid block again, not have the ball for a huge and because their counter attacks for me, I'm expecting them to press way high up the pitch and absolutely go for it. That's what I would want to do if I was in their team. Just rattle them, because I don't think many teams do that against Manchester United, so it would be something different. But that's why I'm not a manager, guys. That's why I'm sat here.
I'm over here like coach them up.
I think they should do that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Especially looking at Letty's set pieces. Yeah. I think if they can create some chances like that and be, I mean, they have to shut down Millard. I think she's been electric in the attack for United. I think if they can have her have a quiet game, get those chances, be aggressive going forward, maybe they'll get a goal or two, but I don't think they're going to come back and win this against United. I have United going through.
And I will say, Man United home fans, strong.
Jen, Sandra, you have United going through too?
Oh yeah. I think they're sitting pretty.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to Jen Beattie's Arsenal. 4-0 up on Leuven. Oh, Leuven. But Arsenal, they're finding their form. They love a late push. We're looking at them in the WSL. You know, they had a game to lead over the weekend, so they're coming in fresh legs. Very fresh. Do you think that this is going to be like their strongest lineup? Maybe we've been able to see, Leah Williamson's coming back, getting more and more minutes. Do you think this could be like the prime lineup against Leuven? I mean, or they'll rotate?
Potentially. I think I said this on the show. I think Renee Slagers has done, exceptionally well with managing her team and giving minutes where necessary. I think this is another opportunity to do that. I think you have to keep everyone fresh, if I'm honest. I think, but with Leah Williamson back, it's a huge opportunity to get her into a good rhythm, especially she's been named in the Lionesses squad for the next camp. So that's huge for her as an individual. But what's best for the team is fluidity and keeping everyone in a good flow, which is what they've been in regardless of. I think they're in a place where whoever plays can go and do another professional job. I think Chloe Kelly spoke really well after the game about that after the performance. So I'm at a point where I think whoever plays, they made 5 changes, I think, on that, and they're coming into this game fresh, like you said, Darian. So I'm confident that they can get the job done at the Emirates.
Any chance for Leuven, Sandra?
I think it's just about trying to close out your Champions League campaign with some pride. It's tough because they dazzled us, right, during that league phase. And you love to see a debutante showing up and showing out. But they've conceded 7 goals to this team at this point in back-to-back games. And now there's a third one here. So maybe that's your silver lining. Maybe you're like, we're not giving them any more. We're not giving them an inch. Like maybe that's the rah-rah that you've got out of there. I mean, I really feel for their manager. I think in some of the post-game comments too was kind of alluded to that. It was just like, yep, and that's the difference in level between us and between them. Like, you can't, like, there's like, what else do you reach for there as the staff, to help sort of prepare your players? So, I'm looking for a respectable response, but Arsenal's rising, and I don't think they're going to stop.
Yeah, I agree. And then we could have a WSL clash
huge
in the next round, which would be massive. And I know that we would all love that. Well, that wraps up our Women's Champions League talk today. Of course, we'll catch you up more on that Friday after these games happen. But let's take a look at the U.S. Women's National Team as the roster for the She Believes Cup just dropped. So stick with us after this quick break.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
What's up, fam? Welcome back to Attacking Third. U.S. Women's National Team roster just dropped, and let's take a look at it. This is for the She Believes Cup. For goalkeepers, they've got Claudia Dickey, Mandy McGlynn, Valentine's Joyce is back in the house, everybody. Defenders, we've got Jordan Bugg, Emily Fox, Naomi Girma, Lily Reel, Tara Rudd, Emily Sonnet, Giselle Thompson, Kennedy Wesley, Kate Wiesner. Midfield, we've got Sam Coffey, Lindsay Heaps, Claire Hutton, Riley Jackson, Rose Lavelle is back, Olivia Moultrie, Jaden Shaw, and Lily Johannes. And up top, Maddie Darlene, Jamise Joseph, Trinity Rodman, Emma Sears, Ali Sentinor, and Alyssa Thompson. Guys, this is the first time under Emma Hayes' tenure that she has not featured an uncapped player. Or, excuse me, in over a year. This is the first time since last She Believes Cup, which to me is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
you get a cap, you get a cap, you get a cap. And this signals to me that she's finalizing that roster. We're going to see more of a consistent roster going into a World Cup year after this. But Sandra, any surprises? What stood out to you with this initial drop?
Well, I had kind of mixed reactions because I was like, all right, the gang's mostly all back together again. But I think for me, what I wanted to pay attention to were the January camp holdovers, because that was such a unique window, and it was cool sort of getting an up close and personal look at that, taking a trip on the road and seeing these players kind of just sort of fight for that attention, leave their mark on the coaching staff, because Emma Hayes is, if nothing else, but very transparent and self-aware, said that eventually there is going to be a full turning of the page. And I think we're seeing it already, like to your game note about there's not a single player on this roster that doesn't have a cap to their name. Now that's sort of a chapter perhaps closed as they sort of continue to make this march towards World Cup qualifiers in November. And that's really what it's going to be about. I think it's going to be about narrowing down that very expansive pool of players that you made happen in 2025, and now kind of just run with this smaller core group of player that sort of see how they work maybe with this 11 that are back in the mix, the players who are coming in a now official window, who can get called in during a FIFA international schedule, the European club players, your Heaps, your Girma, your Valentine Joyce. Yeah. How are some of these holdovers going to operate with these usual suspects? And I think that's going to be that next text for some of them. So I'm very eager to see, players like, Maddie Darlene or even Jamise Joseph, like how are they going to compete alongside someone like an Alyssa Thompson
or Riley Jackson? Even. Those younger players that don't have many caps that, we've only seen get a couple minutes. Those are the ones that I was really surprised by. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, where's Avery Patterson? Where's Kat Macario?
Yep.
What happened?
Yeah. Macario is an interesting one, I think, maybe because of the noise.
Yeah.
You could argue, or but Avery Patterson was definitely the one for me that I kind of was a little bit shocked not to see. But I think we're seeing definitely I think what Emma Hayes has done though with the amount of players, like 32 players caps in their 32 matches, that's like new caps. That's a whole refresh of a program. I think so. Now it's interesting to see that progression of more familiar names, but I love that she's seen the whole picture of caliber of player, and starting to narrow it down. I still think there's so much football to be played up until the World Cup actually happens, so we're still far off, but definitely that balance of inexperience and vets seems to be there going into this, because it's tough games. She believes it's back to competition, but I do love the progression that we're now seeing with the roster and having more of a balance compared to the year previous, shall I say.
Yeah, I think we've all kind of been craving seeing what this roster is going to look like, a little bit more finalized, a little bit more of a spine of truly what this team is going to be. Shout out to our producer, Adriana, who said Macario is technically listed as injured by Chelsea. So, okay, there's something there. That's why she's not in camp. But still a lot of question marks. Even the player I loved from last camp, Ayo Okay. Yeah, I would love to see her. I thought she was so dynamic, but I wonder if it's just a little bit too late. with that glimpse that we got to see of how brilliant she is with the kind of history and time other players have had already.
Yeah, I do. I think Emma Hayes, and during that January camp, she talked a lot about longer term vision, to the point where even someone like Claire Hutton, who I spoke with, was saying that like there are things being laid out here, and yes, that goal is going to be to push for that big roster in November and that even bigger roster in 27. But there's no confusion for that camp. This was also for 28, 2031 beyond, players who maybe are still have eligibility for youth World Cups, so those conversations were pretty clear, which makes this She Believes Cup roster, I think, just that much more intriguing, because there are players who are these January camp holdovers, and you're just kind of like, they obviously did enough to where the staff wants to see them against opposition like Colombia or Canada, and to say, okay, well, you did this against Paraguay, against Chile. Let's see if you can do that against Canada, who's going to come out there and just look to elbow you in the ribs every 5 seconds.
Right.
It's going to be a much different task and environment for them.
Yeah, I think this is a massive test. Looking at this roster, and I think even especially the front line, I love that Jamise Joseph is back. I thought she was so good in the January window. Maddie Dolly, we didn't get to see much of her, so I'm intrigued to see how she fits into the squad with these games coming up. But up top, we've talked about Triple Espresso for years. We haven't gotten to see them play together for years now at this point. Sophia Wilson and Mel Swanson looks like they're back in training, getting touches, introducing them into preseason. Do you think that this could be maybe one of the last camps that we don't see them? Maybe the next camp, Triple Espresso, will be back involved in a camp. Jen, you're kind of nodding along.
I mean, I hope so. I think everyone wants to see them back, but I think it's so hard to predict coming off the back of, becoming a parent, right? No one really, and it's so different to any other pregnancy. I hope they're both doing well, but I just think that part is so hard to predict, because that becomes so down to the individual. I just hope they're, things are going well and they're being integrated really smoothly and they're feeling great. Everyone wants them back ASAP, but everyone wants them back healthy ASAP.
Yeah.
No one wants to see them break down. I think the coming back to a full training load at club level is a lot, let alone international level. That jump is huge. I know they both have, an incredible amount of experience, and the talent level's insane. I just want to see them back fit, back healthy, back flying for club, and of course back in a US jersey ASAP. But I find that one so hard to predict, guys. I'm not sure how you're feeling, because we still haven't seen them play, right?
Yeah.
And until that happens, it's hard to call, but I hope so.
I will say this. I do think that having a She Believes Cup where you mirror kind of that, international tournament, multiple teams in a short span of time, and then looking ahead a little bit, knowing that you want to recreate or repeat a little bit of that kind of test and environment for your players with a 3-game stead against Japan following She Believes Cup. I think that, it's always chess, right? It's chess, not checkers with Emma Hayes. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's even less of some of these January holders in the 3-game set against Japan, and there's different players who are called in. Maybe by the time that comes around, Sophia Wilson is back to playing regular minutes for club, and then you get her back in the mix, and you have 2 parts of Triple Espresso back in the mix. I respect.
It's a double espresso.
Yeah, double espresso. I respect the baller mentality so much. I really appreciated Sophia Wilson, speaking so honestly and candidly about her return. She was gunning for the She Believes roster, keeping in touch with Emma Hayes. We all saw her there in the sidelines.
She was everywhere.
Games. Yeah, just say, hey, look, yeah, meet Gigi,
I'm
hang
here.
out, like just letting her know. Yeah, no, so I respect it so much. But I also, it's great to have that layer of trust with your coach and the staff, where they're just like, you got to get some minutes, and we're we're gonna get you in. So I would imagine that, something like Japan, facing Japan 3 times, yeah, you're gonna want a Sophia Wilson if she's playing at that point against that window versus right now. So I think, players coming back from pregnancy is always different for everybody. I don't think that's talked about enough. Like, people don't think about postpartum as like an injury, but like it could be considered maybe one of those planned injuries. It's like, it's something that you're going to have to deal with, and it's like it's different for everybody. So watching Sophia Wilson come back, Mal Swanson obviously still sort of coping with that a bit, and everyone's going to be different, but it's going to be interesting to see how She Believes roster fares for that next roster that drops.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jen.
No, I was just going to say something completely off on a tangent, but I hope there's a documentary being made about the return to play, because I think that's
so needed.
An amazing story.
Yeah.
And especially road to World Cup.
Yep.
Hopefully there's a documentary being made.
I completely agree. You know what? I've been thinking about our A3 friend, my girl, J-Mac. And when she talks about coming back from having her oldest son, Jeremiah, she's like, oh, it felt like my body felt better.
Wow.
Like, she felt like she had like a superpower almost now being a mom with having her kids. So putting that energy out there for all of the ladies coming back from pregnancy.
Alex Morgan won a golden boot after having had one of her best
MVP golden boot.
Yeah, had one of her best club career seasons following, coming back from, pregnancy. So it's just it's gonna be very fun to watch and witness.
Putting that energy out there for them. I love it. Okay, when we take a step back, they play Argentina, Canada, Colombia, back to back to back. I think this is a great test.
Yeah.
You get something completely different from Argentina, something totally different, probably messier from Canada. Hopefully it's not waterlogged this time. And then Colombia. I love the US-Colombia matchup. I think we just get it so much more, just with proximity and regionally. So looking at this, do you think this is such a good prep, just thinking ahead for this roster, Sandra? And these games offer enough diversity for this team to actually prove what they can do?
I do. I think it's the perfect kind of test to start off 2026, knowing that you have your regional World Cup qualifiers at the end of the year. Opponents, CONMEBOL opponents in Argentina and Colombia will absolutely be great tests for this team and these players if they find themselves going up against not only Canada again in November, but other teams in Haiti, potentially, Mexico, Jamaica. It's like there's going to be layers of familiarity, I think, in terms of styles. And so I think it's also going to be very important to pay attention, maybe who starts what game, who is getting tasked with the start against Argentina versus who is getting tasked with a start against, Canada. And I would almost argue that maybe some of these players who have found themselves over the last years as regular mainstays, like Alyssa Thompson, Olivia Moultrie, I want to see those players against Canada specifically. Who are you? Who are you when you are getting wrecked every 5 seconds? Show me who you are when the only way is through. And I want to see it. So I think this trio of teams, very good start for this team.
Yeah, 100%. I think the beauty of these games is they offer differences tactically and mentally, exactly what you guys have shown. I think, and that's when you show the real, which I think Emma Hayes is spot on. She's kind of touched on that in her press conferences as well. But who shows the tactical awareness of how the games change over the course of back-to-back, whether it's because Canada to Colombia is so different, whether it's a high prep. Yeah. So I that's what I love about international football the most, the tactical differences and what players can spot what at different moments in a game. And I guess the maturity is the right word for that, the tactical maturity to who has the awareness. So in terms of like lessons that can be learned from this, I'm excited for it.
I love this because I think this is where we get to see Emma Hayes' magic over the team that she's created. 3 completely different opponents, 3 totally different challenges, tactically, mentally, physically. we have some fun games on our hands in a She Believes Cup. And of course, your girls on A3 are going to recap after every single game. March 1st, March 4th, March 7th against Argentina, Canada, Colombia. We will be chopping it up about these matches. But stick with us because we are going to have some fun in our next segment. We are looking at which of your favorite ballers would do well in Olympic sports. So stick with us after this quick break.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it? Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric.
Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
All right, my friends. Winter Olympics is winding down. We only have a couple days left. I don't know about you guys, but I just have it on my TV streaming 24/7. I watch everything back. I'm really into bobsledding. I love figure skating. Like snowboarding is my thing. I want to know, first of all, what do you think your best Olympic sport would be? And then let's take a look at some of our favorite football stars and what tandems, pairs, individuals would excel at in the Winter Olympics. So Jen, I want to start with you. Which Olympic winter sport do you think you would excel at?
All right. Confession time.
Let's go.
I've got my tea.
I was watching, well, I should say we, because it's a duo. And I spoke about this earlier today, actually. But yet last night, my partner and I were watching the figure skating. And I turned to her and I said, I reckon we could do that.
There you go.
And I really back us. I think, I could be launching her in the air. She'd be pirouetting. I know she'd land it perfectly. We'd pick a song that we both love. I think we could do it. I will say she was half asleep and probably didn't really even hear me say it. I think she's just agreed to it. But figure skating, I have absolutely loved watching them. I think they are phenomenal, what they can do on the ice. And I'd back myself to do it. So that's
I love that.
Yeah.
You're like a modern day Blades of Glory.
I'm over here like, God, you just illustrated that so well. Like now I want to see it. I saw it through your illustration, but now
Well,
maybe
one day you will see it, Sandra.
I love it. I love it.
Throw it into ChatGPT. I'm sure they can make something of it.
I love that we're starting with a skating element.
Yeah,
I think for me, I've definitely been keeping an eye on hockey for sure. Love and specifically women's hockey. Got to support all the women's sports. Anywhere and everywhere, and that includes in the Olympic Games. Loving what we're seeing in hockey right now, from USA Women, and that's the one for me. Like I'm just looking at it, and I know there's not a lot of room for goonery, but I just would love to someday bring that element. Somewhere in a past life, I just would love to be like, just skating, just looking for the right collision.
Decking people.
That's
wear it up.
That's what I give me some gloves. And then let's take them off.
Would you be a goaltender or would you be out in the field? Like,
I think I want to be out in the field.
Yeah. I'm not trying to get hit with a puck.
Nope.
Goaltender.
I think I'm a speed skater.
I love it.
I'm definitely a speed skater. I want to be a snowboard, like a freestyle snowboarder. I'm not. I would be a speed skater.
Right. That's elegant, though.
I love that we all chose
elegant.
I love that we all chose skating in some capacity.
And the suits that go all the way up to here, no?
Oh yeah, I would love to rock one of those suits.
Yeah, locked in. I reckon you could do that. You've got the elegance.
I think you have the elegance. I also think you just got like this style. I think you would make it look like so fresh, homie. Like honestly,
I don't even want to skate. I just want to put on one of the suits.
Exactly. It's speed skating, but also make it fashion.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shout out to Audrey, our producer, because she gave us a nice little list of players that we could see in Olympic sports, in the winter sports. So Lola Bonta being one of them. I think Lo's hockey. I think Lo would translate her energy onto an ice rink, still be captain, still doing the sellies. Imagine what she could do on ice with a celebration.
She's got the moves for figure skating though, like the dance moves, the sellies. I feel like it's dancing on ice, really, isn't it?
True.
She's got the dance moves.
That's a good one.
I'm just the bigger figure skating fan at the minute.
Yeah,
I know
you
we're all
get
going to be
figure
vouching
skating
for our
everybody.
sport
We're
now.
like figure skating, everyone.
Yeah. No, I like it. I could see it. I think Levanta, I think it's fair to say that we could see her in skates in some
Yeah.
capacity, whether
Yeah.
it's figure skating, hockey, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, Temwa Shawinga,
Speed skating.
for sure, speed skater.
Speed. She's all about the speed.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
be her teammate on the side, like cheering her on.
She would just head down and go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
That
a
or like some, I don't know, skiing maybe, like diving
Yeah.
around, like just zipping around those, those little
wait, yeah, the
little, like, the
slalom.
flags and the slaloms. Like, I could see that too.
Yeah, the downhill ski.
Yeah, unafraid. Let's go.
See that?
Unafraid,
Yeah.
just go. Unafraid, just go. I like the shouts that our producer put in Levanta and Chewingo, but like I also wrote in a couple of my own. I think that Fallon Sellers Joyce, Emily Sana, and Hal Hirschfeld would make like an amazing curling team in some capacity. Like, I just want to see like the three of them be a curling team. I just think it would be great. Like, I think Emily Sana would absolutely like just revolutionize like curling energy. Like, I could just like sweep. Like, the direction, pointing, the yelling. There we go. I love it. Let's go.
Do you know who I wrote down for curling? Clara Bull and Pernilla Harder, that combo.
Oh,
Just because they're like connection. Clara Bull's been like the assist queen. She'd be like doing all the assisting. And Pernilla Harder would just bring it home.
that makes sense. Jen, that's a really good one.
Thank you.
It's really
I had a
good.
curling team one too. Alexia Putellas and Aitana Bonmati.
Nice.
Could they
all
make
finesse.
it?
I
Could they
mean-
make it work in curling?
Does anyone make it work in curling?
Yeah. Also, can I say the stones are made in Scotland? Does anyone know that?
Are they?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So I
Then
should
why
really be-
don't we have you in here?
I should really be on the curling team.
So Jen,
I
you
just
should
backed myself for a figure skating, but curling is where I belong. Clearly.
Jen Beattie and Carolyn Weir.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Curling duo.
Collins.
Also, I had another really good one for cross country energy. It gave Iron Woman vibes, so I said Kaylee Kurtz just for pure
Oh, that's
Great
awesome.
shout.
energy.
Great shout for
long.
Kurtz.
That must be the hardest thing, and I feel like
Gotta
minute,
have that endurance
hours,
for
and then
sure.
Endurance, right? So I had Kaylee Kurtz.
That's a
Oh,
good one.
man. Who else would be good in
Ellie
that
Carpenter.
endurance? Ellie Carpenter is a great
Ooh.
shout. Sarah Gordon, maybe for me.
Yeah. But also speed
Good.
skater.
Ugh, tough.
Oh, shout out to
dual
Adriana.
Dual
She
Olympic
said Lou
athlete.
Barnes.
I said so. It was between the two. It was either Kaylee Kurtz or Lou Barnes. But then I
Hey,
went
they can
with
both be them.
yeah. Who else have we got? We got anyone else? I
Do
also
we-
said Marta.
Will we do
Thursday.
who is psychotic enough to do this, like just skeleton moves, just like throw
Sam
your
Kerr.
body? Sam Kerr skeleton.
She'd be like snowboarder flips.
Yeah.
There we go.
Like her.
Yeah. She's doing something that like
She could do
you
the
have
jump.
to like be fearless.
The jump.
You gotta launch in the air.
That's a jump for me.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. I can't believe they're almost over, y'all. Like, if you haven't like
I'm
tapped into
sad.
the Olympics, like tap in. Like, you've only got like a few more days. Like, there's still some gold medals out there. USA Hockey's gonna be going for gold against Canada. We're talking a lot about
Mhm.
that. So, like, just tap in where you can. Like, women's sports,
They're killing it.
tap in. They're crushing it.
Killing it.
They're killing it.
The-
Chat, let us know what you guys think.
Yeah.
Who else? Oh,
Who
someone said
anyone
Sam
chat?
Mewis. What would Sam? I feel like it's
Oh,
curling.
Sam
Sam and
Mewis
Christy
is-
Mewis curling duo.
There you go.
The sisters.
You a sister curling duo.
I like it.
We got a
Guys-
shout. We got a shout from our producer for Marta for alpine skiing, queen of the slopes.
Ooh, I like that. The Brazilian Marta, the legend,
So
an
good.
alpine skier.
Let's go.
I can see it. She'd probably look fabulous too. She'd probably have the best fit.
Yep.
Ladies, this was a really fun show. Women's Champions League, U.S. Women's National Team, She Believes roster dropped, and the Winter Olympics. Chat, let us know what else you think, who else in specific events would thrive. I'm sure we're going to have plenty more of ideas. Don't forget, Attacking Third will be back this Friday with the same crew at 11 a.m. to recap the Women's Champions League second leg playoff round to go into the quarterfinals. Appreciate you all so much for joining in. From Trey, Audrey, Jen, and Sandra, I'm Darian, and this was Attacking Third.